Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This province is experiencing a homelessness crisis, and yet this government has cut $161 million in supplements for shelter funding. They've frozen funding for the Homelessness Prevention Program. They've cut the Ending Homelessness Program funding by 25%. They cancelled the basic income pilot. All these cuts that your government has made are fueling this crisis in the middle of this pandemic. The City of Toronto has released a plan to build 3,000 affordable supportive housing units immediately and 350,000 over the next 10 years. They are asking for provincial support to fulfill that plan. Will your government commit to supporting the City of Toronto plan to build affordable housing?
Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
Well, thanks, Speaker. Through you to the honourable member, I know now that he's not the finance critic, because some of his financial information that he's released both in this House and outside this House are totally incorrect. Our government has worked very closely with the City of Toronto and all of our 47 service managers and our 2 Indigenous program administrators. Just in the House, just a day or two ago, the Minister of Children, Community and Social Services, in response to a question, talked about how our government, early on in the pandemic, provided $200 million in advance to our municipalities to help those most vulnerable. We followed it up, Speaker. And now the total amount of dollars that we're providing municipalities are over $510 million. Every statistic, and again, the member talks about saying that community homelessness monies have been cut. That's absolutely false. The number he's quoting is from the estimates for the Affordable Lands Project. You can't buy lands twice. We don't buy it every year. We provided an Affordable Lands Project. We created new housing. We moved on to the next program. And again,
thank you. The supplementary question.
Mr. Speaker, in June 2019, the Federal Parliamentary Budget Officer reported that the provincial government, your government, cut $161 million from rent supplements and shelter funding. That's the Federal Budget Officer. It's not my numbers, they're the Federal Budget Officer's numbers. This week, I was just speaking with the member from St. Catharines. She said that people are lining up for hours around the block at a church to get a shower who are experiencing homelessness. There are tent encampments in Hamilton. There is one park in my riding with 60 tents and more than 100 people living in it. The residents in my riding, business owners, and people experiencing homelessness came together this week, and we asked 3 things from this government: reverse the cuts, declare a state of emergency on homelessness, and support the city's plan to build affordable housing. Will you do any of those things to address this crisis?
Again, the Minister of Municipal Affairs.
Speaker, the Canada-Ontario Community Housing Initiative dollars for the City of Toronto this year are up from last year. The Community Homelessness Prevention Initiative for the City of Toronto this year is up compared to last year. The dollars that we provided in the pandemic, $39 million under the under the Social Services Relief Fund, and the fact the city is eligible, and we're encouraging them to ensure that they get their long-term sustainable plan in, an additional $118 million. The Strong Communities Rent Supplement Program is exactly the same amount of money this year as what the city received last year. In total, the $384 million that the city has received or is eligible for is up compared to last year, up compared to the year before, up compared to the year before, and up compared to the year before that. It's up, up, up.